Hey everyone, welcome to Area 616. Well, I just finished watching the last episode of Sherlock's 4th season, and I've got to say I enjoyed it very much. Now I can't say too much regarding the story as I like to keep things as spoiler free as possible, but it's a very good story. But like I said, I very much enjoyed this episode. The performances were all just stellar, but it was the story that really fascinated me. This episode has a lot of twists and turns, and for me, they all worked very well. There were a ton of incredibly tense moments here. It was almost hard to watch, but in a good way. I will say that the story, the events, they're kind of hard to believe in a way. I can't say too much without spoiling it, but while it's very entertaining and very interesting, it's just a bit hard to believe that some of these things were able to happen, I guess. There are some mildly confusing bits here and there, but it was still very well done. Honestly, it's hard to say a lot without spoiling this episode, and it definitely shouldn't be spoiled. Now, the climax was a bit... I don't want to say it was disappointing. It wasn't necessarily that, but it did do one more change up that kind of changed things, I guess. But then also, again, without spoiling it, there was a cliffhanger at the end of episode 2 that in this one was just kind of mentioned in passing, like it was no big deal. It seemed kind of weird that they chose not to talk about what happened, but I guess they had more important things to do. In any event, this episode was just great. It had its flaws for me, but it definitely entertained me. Everyone's performances were just great, especially Benedict Cumberbatch. So really it comes down to the question of, should I rate this episode based on how flawless and airtight the story was, or should I rate it based on how it made me feel watching it? If it's the former, I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5. But if it was how much it actually entertained me, it'd be a 5 out of 5. So I'm going to do something a bit different here. If you like, why don't you guys let me know what you think it should be in the comments below. For me, it's between 4.5 and 5 out of 5, but I can't quite reach a conclusion here. So let me know what you guys thought. Overall, I'd say this was a brilliant season of Sherlock. Personally, I actually think that episode 2 might have been my favorite, but this one is a very, very close second. In any event, let me know what you thought. But I also want to briefly touch on the question in everyone's minds. Will there be a season 5? Without getting into spoilers, the way this episode ends, there could certainly be. It ends in a way that would allow for more, but would also be as satisfying if it ended there. According to Stephen Moffat, he'd love to go on, but it depends on the actor's schedule. They're really busy, especially with Benedict Cumberbatch now being Doctor Strange. Personally, this may sound weird, but I'd kind of like it if they ended here. Don't get me wrong, if they want to go on, absolutely zero complaints from me. I will be there 100%, but if they had to end here, this would be a good place. Sure, there are questions and mysteries and all that, but I still think it would serve as a satisfying ending to Sherlock. But I guess only time will really tell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.